The YouTube Partner Program is basically the entry point to monetization on YouTube. To even be considered, a channel needs to have 1,000 subscribers or in either 4,000 hours of public watch hours over the last year or 10 million shorts views in the last 90 days. Once you're in, you unlock ways to earn through ads, membership, super chats, super thanks, and YouTube premium revenue. But it's not just about numbers. YouTube also checks that your content follows their rules. Things like copyright violations, reused content, or community guideline strikes can block you from monetizing your channel, even if you hit these requirements. Your channel trust score isn't something YouTube actually publicly shows, but it's very real on the back end. It's kind of like your channel's reputation. If you're constantly getting copyright claims, guideline strikes, or uploading spammy content, your trust score will go down. This makes YouTube way less likely to push your videos out and approve monetization quickly. On the flip side, if you have a clean record and consistent uploads, your channel builds trust and the algorithm is more likely to favor you. An aged account just means a channel that's been around for a while. Even if it hasn't uploaded much, age itself will add some credibility. YouTube tends to trust older accounts more, especially if they've had no strikes or prior issues. This means faster approval when applying for monetization and better algorithmic reach compared to a brand new channel. New channels usually get watched more closely until they prove themselves. Click-through rate, otherwise known as CTR, is simply just the percentage of people who click on your video after seeing the thumbnail and title. So if 1,000 people see your thumbnail and 100 of them click, that's a 10% CTR or 10% click-through rate. A high click-through rate is great, but it only tells part of the story. If you get tons of clicks, but then people click off the video right away, YouTube also sees that as misleading packaging. The real win is when you get a solid click-through rate and people continue to watch. That's when your videos take off. A click-through rate percentage that you should aim for is anything above 5%. Impressions happen every time YouTube shows your video's thumbnails to someone on the platform, like the homepage, search results, or the suggested bar. It doesn't count if your video is embedded on another website. Impressions basically show you how much visibility YouTube is giving your video within its own system or platform. For the impressions click-through rate, well, this is just the click-through rate, but tied directly to impressions. In other words, of all the times YouTube itself served your video's thumbnail, how often did people actually click? It's slightly different than the overall click-through rate, which can exclude external clicks from social media or websites. Impressions click-through rate is especially important to the algorithm because it's clean read on whether your video grabs attention from inside the platform. Views per impression is the ratio of impressions to actual views. It works almost like click-through rate, but expressed differently. Say a video gets 10,000 impressions and 1,000 views, that's a 0.1 views per impression. It tells you how efficiently your video is converting exposure into real views. It's a helpful metric for diagnosing whether your thumbnail and title are doing their job at scale. A view counts when somebody intentionally watches your video for at least 30 seconds, or the whole video if the video is shorter than 30 seconds. Repeat views can count, but YouTube filters out anything that looks like spam. Views are the most basic way to measure performance, but on their own, they don't say much. Pair them with watch time and retention, and you get the real picture. Now, your average view duration shows you how long, on average, people are sticking around. If a 10-minute video racks up 5,000 total minutes of watch time across 1,000 views, that's an AVD of 5 minutes. Higher AVD means people are actually staying engaged, which helps YouTube recommend your video even more. Even if your click-through rate is average, a strong AVD can push your video more to blow up. Average session duration is about how long people stay on YouTube after clicking on your video. If somebody watches your video but then keeps on browsing on the platform for another 20 plus minutes, YouTube sees that as a good thing. You basically contributed to a longer session. But if someone clicks your video and then closes YouTube right away, that drags your session time down. Channels that are consistently extending sessions tend to get favored in recommendations because they keep people on the platform longer, which is the ultimate goal that YouTube has. Watch time is the total number of minutes that people have spent watching your videos. It's one of the strongest metrics in YouTube's system because it combines both clicks and retention. 10,000 views at 1 minute each is only 10,000 minutes, but 5,000 views at 10 minutes each is 50,000 minutes. So even with fewer views, the second scenario is much stronger because it adds up more watch time. Views per hour is just a simple but powerful metric. It tracks how many views your video is pulling each hour. It's especially useful right after you upload because it shows you how quickly the algorithm is testing your video. If your VPH starts spiking, that's a very strong sign that YouTube is pushing it harder. If it flatlines, then the video is probably stalling. Tracking VPH gives you real-time read on your momentum. The outlier score in a video is a metric from third-party tools like views.com or vidIQ. It highlights videos that performed way above average for that channel. For example, if most of your videos upload around 20,000 views, but then a video jumps to 200,000 views, now that is an outlier. The idea here is to study what made that video break the pattern, whether it was the topic, the thumbnail, or the retention, and then replicate those elements in future videos. Audience retention shows you the percentage of viewers still watching at every point in the video. It's plotted on a graph so you can see exactly where people drop off. For example, if a video starts at 100% retention, but by the halfway mark, only 40% are still watching, your retention graph will show that decline. Strong retention signals to YouTube that people are staying engaged, which helps your content get recommended much more widely. Now, peak retention moments are spots in your video where a large percentage of viewers are watching compared to the average. This usually happens when people rewatch a section or skip back. Peaks can show you what parts of your content were especially interesting or worth revisiting. You can use those insights to structure future videos or emphasize similar moments. Dip retention points are the opposite of peaks. These are moments where a big chunk of viewers drop off or skip ahead. For example, a long intro, a confusing explanation, or a slow section can create a dip. Spotting dips is key for improving your editing and pacing. If you consistently lose viewers at the same type of moment, you know exactly what to fix. Now, relative retention compares to how your video is performing against other videos of the same length across YouTube. So instead of just looking at your own graph, you can see how your retention stacks up against the platform average. If your retention is higher than most videos of that length, YouTube sees it as a strong positive signal. Now, if it's lower, then you know there's room to improve. Traffic sources can show you where your viewers are coming from. YouTube breaks this down into categories so you can see where people are finding your videos. Each source has its own behavior pattern, so understanding them helps you know whether you're relying on search, recommendations, or outside promotion. Suggested traffic comes from YouTube recommending your video next to or after other videos. This is one of the most powerful sources because it taps into natural binge watching. If your topic connects well with other people's content that they're already watching, otherwise known as iterations, YouTube will line your video up in the sidebar or autoplay queue. Suggested traffic usually delivers higher watch times and better retention than other sources. Now, alternatively, we have search-based traffic, which comes from people actually typing in keywords into YouTube search bar and finding the video in the results. These are more intent-based people, which are actively looking for the content. It's great for steady views over time. It usually doesn't spike as hard as suggested traffic. Still, for evergreen content like tutorials or how-to videos, search is a reliable traffic source. External traffic is when people find your video outside of YouTube. For example, like a website, blog, social media platform, or even a WhatsApp link. It's useful for kickstarting momentum, but it's not as strong as native YouTube traffic. The algorithm favors traffic that originates inside the platform, since that means YouTube itself was responsible for generating interest. The Shorts feed is its own discovery system separate from long-form videos. It works more like TikTok or Instagram Reels. Videos get tested quickly, shown in small groups, and if they perform well, they scale to bigger audiences. Shorts can rack up massive view counts fast, but the retention metrics work differently since they loop and they're only up to 60 seconds long. Playlist traffic comes from viewers who find your videos through playlists, either yours or someone else's. Playlists can keep viewers in a sequence of content, which helps both watch time and session duration. If you organize videos into playlists around specific themes, it makes it much easier for viewers to binge multiple uploads in one sitting, which in turn will help you with your average session duration. Returning viewers are people who have already watched your channel before and came back for more. They're a strong sign of loyalty and channel health. If you're building a brand or a community, returning viewers matter much more than one-off clicks. YouTube also factors this in when deciding how to recommend your content. Channels with a strong base of returners usually get more consistent reach. Subscribers are the viewers who hit the subscribe button and stay connected to your channel. While subscriber count doesn't actually directly drive the algorithm anymore, it is still a trust signal. Subscribers are much more likely to return, boost your engagement, and watch across multiple uploads. They are essential for unlocking monetization and community features. Now, RPM stands for revenue per mil, which is how much money you actually earn per every 1,000 views. It takes into account all revenue streams, not just ads. So things like memberships, super chats, and YouTube Premium are included. RPM is essentially the bottom line figure for what a channel is making on average for every 1,000 views after YouTube takes its cut. Alternatively, CPM, otherwise known as cost per mil, is what advertisers pay per every 1,000 ad impressions before YouTube's revenue share. This number is usually higher than RPM because RPM reflects what you keep after YouTube's percentage. CPM varies heavily based on niche, audience location, and time of year. For example, finance or business channels often see higher CPMs than entertainment channels because advertisers are willing to pay much more to reach those audiences. Ad types breakdown. YouTube ads come in multiple formats, and each one affects revenue differently. Display ads appear beside the video. Overlay ads show up as small banners at the bottom. Skippable ads play during or after content. Skippable ads play before or during content. And non-skippable ads must be watched entirely. There are also bumper ads, which are 6 seconds long and non-skippable, and newer formats like Shorts ads. Your earnings will depend on which ads are shown and how advertisers are bidding for them. Keywords are the terms or phrases that describe the content of your video and help YouTube understand what it is about. They're pulled from your title, description, and tags, and even spoken words in your video. Strong keywords improve discoverability, especially for search-based traffic. Over-optimizing doesn't actually help anymore, but aligning your metadata with what people are actually searching for is still important. For devices, this metric breaks down where people are actually watching from, whether it's on phones, computers, tablets, or TVs. Mobile views usually dominate, but these days, TV is a growing segment as more people watch YouTube on smart TVs. Having device data helps you optimize your content. For example, if most of your audience is on mobile, shorter intros and bold thumbnails become much more important. End screen's click rate shows a percentage of viewers who took action on those. It's a strong indicator of how well you're funneling traffic to more videos and keeping people within your channel ecosystem. Monetized playbacks are the views where at least one ad was shown. Not every view results in monetization because some viewers use ad blockers, some videos may not be eligible, or YouTube may not have ads available for that region or audience. This number is always lower than your total views and it directly impacts your ad revenue. Audience demographics shows the breakdown of your viewers by age, gender, and geographic location. This matters because advertisers pay different rates depending on who's watching. For example, views from countries like the US, Canada, or Australia often have higher CPMs than views from other regions. Age groups also play a huge role. Advertisers may bid more to reach 25 to 44-year-olds compared to teenagers. Engagement rate measures how often viewers interact with your videos through likes, comments, and shares, or clicks on features like cards or end screens. High engagement rates tell YouTube that people aren't just watching passively, they're actively responding to the content. Strong engagement rates improve the chances of your videos being recommended and also helps build a more loyal audience. And by the way, even a dislike is positive engagement. So don't be afraid to stir some controversy. If you're feeling stuck and need support and guidance, you can visit me on my free school community where I give away an entire mega course on how to do YouTube automation for free. And I also go live twice a week with yours truly. If you're also stuck on which niche to choose, you can click this video over here. It's going to show you the 8 most untapped niches working in 2025.